the mission that God has called us to. We worry ourselves sick, meaning the work that God has called you to do with your life as a believer. Whether you deem it big or small, sometimes we feel like it's a big deal. Whatever, if you know the Lord tonight, you have work to do. Doesn't save you, but because you're saved, there's an obligation to do work for the Lord that was crucified, buried, and rose from the dead for you. We have work to do. And sometimes when we look at our power in the face of the work that God has called us to do, we can become very intimidated and scared to death and just back off into just frozen fear of, I know God's called me. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't say that. I can't do that. I see those people doing it. I could never do that. I can never go there. I can never say these words. I could never be available in this way. I don't want people to know these things about me. I couldn't do it. The mission, and part of it is God just called us to be available to serve him where and when and how he calls us to serve. We don't get to say, I only want to serve you this way because that's what I'm comfortable with. Sometimes, I hate to break it to you, it kind of works the opposite way also. Oh, is that what you're comfortable with? Well, that's why I'm calling you to walk on water. So, see, I can't. I know that, and so does God. That's why you need to let him do the part that you can't. But we do need to show up and say, Lord, I can't, but you called me here, and I know you called me here, and if you did, then you can do the part that I can't. He calls us to go, he calls us to serve, to teach, to share the gospel, and we come up with all these reasons why we can't and think that God's going to accept one of them.